Field. Oh boy.
Turn right onto West High Street.
I am in Grants, Nevada. It appears that I
Head north on Silver Street
got
toward
lost
West
already.
High Street, then turn right onto West High Street. Turn right onto West High Street.
Turning right on West High Street.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Iron Avenue. Turn right onto Iron Avenue, then turn right onto West Santa Fe Avenue.
I think I saw it. We're getting close. Okay, there's
Turn right onto West Santa Fe Avenue, US Route 66, then your destination will be on the right.
there's the train that goes right by Route 66.
Your destination is on the right.
But here's what I want to do. This is a park. And this is a neon sign for Route 66. Let's see if Mr. White can get under the neon sign at Route 66. And I bet you it's really pretty at night. But it's 1 o'clock right now on Sunday. And we are driving through the sign, Route 66. Might even be going backwards. But we went through it, so that's all I need. Okay, we're coming up to the Continental Divide. And we are now passing the Continental Divide. Last year I passed it and I didn't know even what it was, so I asked a few people, and for those who don't know the Continental Divide, it is the part of the nation where when the rain falls, half of it goes to the west coast and half of the rainfall goes to the east coast. There you go. August 22, 2022. Number 2 of Winslow. I was here last year. And here's additional information on Winslow, Arizona, on Route 66. Look at the sunflowers there. Isn't that pretty? (9/11) Promise made. Remembrance garden. Promise kept. These are 2 steel structures holding up the World Trade Center. They were allowed to come to the garden in Winslow. And this is remembrance garden. These 2 steel beams from the World Trade Center entrusted to the citizens of Winslow by the city of New York, along with this flag that was flown at the Pentagon, stands as the centerpiece of our remembrance garden. The words, "United we stand," remind the world that we will not fear terrorism. We hereby dedicate this garden to Northern Arizonans. Promise that we will never forget. after 2 hours at Walmart fixing a tire. I was losing about 10 pounds at night of air pressure in one of my tires, and I thought it was the valve, or the valve inside the valve stem of the tire. It was last time, but after they looked at it, they found a nail. So they repaired a nail. They were pretty busy at the time, but 2 hours later I got it out of shop, and the TPMS wasn't working very well, so one tire, the one they fixed, was 71 PSI. The other was 82 on the dash, and so they checked it again, and their gauge showed it was right. So I went inside and got a gauge, and I don't have a gauge that really shows good pressure, so I got a good gauge, and turns out that the tire they repaired was at 87. It's supposed to be at 80, and the other tire was at 82 or 83, I think it was. So I put them both at 80, which is what they're supposed to be. Well, actually 81, which is what they're supposed to be, per that gauge I just bought at the store. And then I looked again on the dash, and now the tire pressures were 81 and 82, I think, on the TPMS. So I think it was fixed. Maybe because they submerged the tire in water, it might have affected the mechanism, but it's now working fine. So now I'm on downtown Winslow, Main Street, and just down the street right there is going to be standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. So I'll do that in a few minutes after I have some lunch, burger and fries, and we'll go from there. And this FedEx truck just parked in front of me here. So this is the big reveal of Main Street, Winslow, Arizona. Standing on the corner of Winslow, Arizona. In the background, the music for Standing on the Corner of Winslow, Arizona was playing, and I have learned from my last video that it will be knocked off of
Standing
YouTube
on the corner of
if I let
Winslow,
that play
Arizona.
in the background. So I muted the Winslow, Arizona music. Here comes the girl that was driving the red truck in Winslow, Arizona. So I got to stand next to her.
Hey.
Find out what that red truck is. There it is. Okay, impact point, Meteor Crater. In Arizona, just west of Winslow. Correction, it's actually east of Winslow, Arizona. And I believe those people way out there on the top, I'm guessing, on the top of that little hill is looking down at the Meteor Crater. Let's go inside and check it out. This was a site also that they trained the NASA astronauts when they were getting ready to go to the moon. And that's why the capsule was there, and why they have also a replica of one of the astronauts. Okay, that turns out I'm just about as tall as the astronauts go. So I probably could have gone up into space and visited the moon. And then this little guy here, I'm not too sure. I don't think they brought this guy back from the moon, but he was walking around out here too. Okay, here's the crater. All the dimensions and how deep it is, I don't remember. I didn't get stuff on it. I was thinking I could get it off the internet, but I looked and looked and couldn't seem to find all the stats of the crater here from the internet. But our tour guide was talking about how deep it was and how wide it was, and that for the longest time it was thought to be made from a volcano and not a meteorite. But the more that it was investigated and the more they looked at it, they finally came around to the fact that this hole was caused by a meteorite, and there's actually nothing left of the meteor after it hit. And this guy right here in the middle, in the blue shirt and the hat, in the backpack, he was our tour guide, and he was telling us a lot about the crater. And that the astronauts walked down to the bottom there and walked around in the bottom of the crater, testing out their equipment. There was so much wind on that ridge of the crater that you couldn't hear anybody speaking over the phone microphone, so I had to just cut it down and narrate as much as I can here. Down in the bottom there's some buildings and stuff that you can't really make out, but and that's because it's so far down there. It is kind of strange how the camera can't pick all that stuff up, but it's the distance all the way down, and it's so far you can't, the camera on the phone won't pick it up. So we go ahead and continue on through the tour by walking up this little walkway on the ridge, And this crater and all of the property around it is owned by 3 families, and you'll hear that a little later on, along with a company. And it's all privately owned. The families out here do ranching, and they do cattle. So cattle is out there grazing in the flatlands. And then I kind of thought it might be a national monument, but it's not. It's all privately owned, and they ask a fee for it, and it's not too bad. And a wealth of information on this crater. I would recommend anybody in that area that goes by, or if you drive in the area of east of Winslow, Arizona, stop by this crater and check it out.
So with this area becoming a business, starting off in 1954 as Meteor Crater, of course, but that was in the due process of actually 2 families. This area was established by 3 families, one of them being the Behringers, the next 2, one company, known as Barty Bar Ranch, owned by the Chilsons and the Tremaines. Since 1863, they've been that established Barty Bar Ranch, a cattle ranch that was the second largest since the Arizona Territory days.
Well, I saw this quite often on YouTube channels about twin arrows. And I saw the sign on the freeway about twin arrows. So I said, I'm going to have to stop and take a look at twin arrows. And one of my YouTube channels was looking at this, and one of the twin arrows was half gone. And guess what? It looks like one of the twin arrows is completely gone. And I've got a single arrow. Well, now I can say I've been there. And here's the gas station at Twin Arrows. Isn't that a beautiful place? I think they call this tagging. here in Flagstaff. It is on this station, the train station is on the internet, and you can do a search or Google it for Flagstaff. And up on these Flagstaff Railroad, I think it is. Maybe it's like Flagstaff Visitor Center. I can't quite remember. But the light poles up there also have cameras, and they are focused on the train track 24/7, 365 days a year. And you can watch the trains go by.
Okay, no problem.
In Flagstaff. And here comes one now. This gentleman in front of us has told me about the cameras focused on the tracks, so you can see the BNSF trains coming by.
Yes, I'm videoing. I'll put you on YouTube too.
He's actually, those waves that he just gave were waving to the cameras. So he's on the internet, and I am too, because I'm right in the same view.